Welcome to day one of the van build. First thing we need to do is remove all of the pegs and take these black panels off. Shouldn't take long at all. Took off all the pegs and now I'm ready to take these panels down. And that's it for day one. Day two of the van build. I realized that I didn't talk very much yesterday about where I am and where I'm doing this. My dad has cleared out a spot in his shop so that I can actually work on the van inside. It's gonna make a huge difference, especially because it's still winter. This will give me a warm, dry place to get everything done. Some of the first things that you do require gluing, and the adhesive needs a certain temperature in order to adhere, so this will be perfect. This week the plan is to frame out the van. I'm gonna get the subfloor down. Before I go buy the materials for the floor, I'm gonna pull this up so that I can measure and make sure that I'm getting the right materials to get the job done. That is where we're gonna start today. I have all of my measurements and I have my first list of things to get at the hardware store. So of course I brought the van. I'm getting everything that I need for the floor, all of the wood, the foam board for insulation, adhesive, and some gloves because I'm getting a little beat up. Officially time for the first trip to the hardware store. made it back from the hardware store. I have everything for the floor, including construction adhesive. This will be enough to get started in the morning building the floor. I have the wood slats, the 1-inch foam, and the plywood. So in the morning, I will be able to get started really quickly building the floor. We'll see you tomorrow. Day 3, and today we get to build. I've already taken out the original flooring, and this will be one of the only times we see the van as a clean slate. Getting ready to check out how I'm going to do the floor this morning, and we're going to get it built today. My plan is to use some screws on the floor along with some glue. 1.5 and inch screws, and I want to see which one will work. Just looking at it quick, the 1.5 is just a little too long. I think that each screw would actually scratch the surface of the van. The inch drywall screw might be our only option. Okay, I was kind of freaking out about the height because I was worried that once everything's in, I would touch the ceiling constantly. But then my dad pointed out that I had my shoes on. Never gonna be wearing shoes in this van. The floor's fine. I'm gonna start installing it. We should be making progress very soon. Now that I have the ribs down, I'm laying out where the plywood sheets are gonna go so that I can make sure that those corners and edges are supported. So this will be 1 sheet, 2 sheets, 3 sheets. Should work out pretty well. I've been looking at this flooring for quite a while, so time for a cookie break. I have all the foam board cut out for the insulation for the subfloor. Plywood is going to sit on top of these. The foam board is just a little lower, so I'm actually going to plane these down before cutting or gluing them. So that is the next step. But we haven't talked about insulation yet, but the pink 1-inch foam board has an R value of 5. The floor is notoriously hard to insulate, so an R value of 5 is worth the space needed to put it in. I'm happy that this has fit so far. I know there's gaps, but it's nice to have something that's insulated that will go on the floor and really prevent the transfer and loss of heat in the van. It's notoriously hard to insulate the floor of a van. It's usually cold when you step on it. So I was really happy to get an R value of 5. R value is a way to measure the effectiveness of your insulation. In a house, you would use anything from an R value of 13 up to an R value of 49. 5 in general is low, but in the van, I'm going to have plenty of airflow. I'm using 3M Thinsulate on the walls, which should really help Really, overall, the point of insulating the van is so that you don't absorb or lose too much heat. I'm going to be in a lot of warm places, so I just don't want too much heat to build up in the van, which is why I'm focusing on insulation. I lost about an inch of space by adding this flooring in. The 1/2-inch plywood that we're going to add has an R value under 1. So the wood isn't going to help us very much here, but at least we have the foam board. I'm going to get started planing down these boards. I don't plan to glue them today, so you'll have to stop back. If you haven't subscribed yet, you need to do that. I'm just getting started on this build, and once I get done, I'm planning to go to all of the national parks in the US this year. So I'll see you back in a few days to show you the floor.